Hello, good morning. Technically, it's 7 minutes past midnight here in England if you're watching it. This is my personal match reaction to Everton 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Bit of a mad evening for myself. I did have the pleasure of sitting in an executive box for this match. So it was very, very close to the touchline, very close to the action, very different to my normal spot in the park end. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the stream. But just firstly, very, very big thanks to Chris for holding his own on the stream on his own for the post and pre-match. So much appreciated. I can't wait to watch that. But what a wonderful point that was. I'd say it felt like a win, obviously, because we were we were losing the game, and I felt we were unfortunate to lose the game. If you'd have asked me before the match what I would have thought it would be if perhaps Spurs would get the result, Kane penalty, and there you go, he gets a classic penalty. But I don't think Tottenham really had many opportunities. I thought they played quite poorly, and I thought Everton were the better of the two teams for the vast majority of the game, even with 10 men, even when we were 1-0 down. And I think the point was very well deserved. And I'll go through the game and my experience now. Just very quick hello to those in the comments. Thanks for joining. I know it is very late, but people will be watching this back, I imagine, on Tuesday, a little bit later on, at a more sociable hour, so to speak. So Eugene, Trevor, and Mr. Toffees, thanks for dropping by. Really, really happy, obviously, that we managed to get a positive result. I think the game was quite difficult for Everton in the early stages. It felt like Tottenham, they were able to build from the back and build a lot of possession from deeper areas with their back three and control the wide areas because we were quite narrow. So they always had passes on, particularly to Perisic down the left in that first half. I thought Everton really struggled for, say, 15, 20 minutes to get a foothold in the game. Eventually, we did manage to get ourselves into the match, and I'd say it was fairly even in the first half. Both teams had sort of half chances. Everton had a couple. Onana had a header, but there were a couple of pot shots. But there was nothing really spectacular in terms of creativity. And I felt in the first half that Demarai Gray was particularly isolated up front. And from where I was sat, obviously, very, very close to the dugout, very close to the touchline, you can actually see how physical the game is compared to on the television or where I sit in the park end about 3/4 of the way up. It felt like Tottenham made it very difficult for Demarai Gray. Meanwhile, Harry Kane is getting a lot of protection. Demarai Gray got no protection from the refs. So Gray was quite isolated. He struggled a little bit, not through want of effort, but I think he up against three centre-backs for Tottenham, and they were very aggressive and physical. We didn't quite get the numbers forward to support, and we didn't create many chances. I actually didn't think the press was that good in the first half as well, but I didn't think Tottenham did anything either. I felt like if anyone edged it, possibly would have been us in that first half. And I felt like we were comfortable defensively. Felt like James Tarkowski and Idrissa Gana Gueye grew into the game after that bad 20 minutes. I felt like we were there involved defensively, and we were very much a part of the game. And I felt like a goal could come. We go in at half time. I think something's got alive in this game, but we need a bit of a spark. Maybe we need someone who can hold the ball up. And very quickly, very early on, Gana Gueye nicks the ball on the edge of the Everton box. Just a little bit of composure, and Everton take the lead 1-0. But he skies it over the bar, and he nearly gets another opportunity a few moments later. You can see Sean Dyche, he's very close to me. He's probably like 3-4 meters in front of me, and he's livid with the finishing. There's a real lack of composure. And you're going to have to help me in the comments because I've not actually seen the red card incidents back. But Everton huffed and puffed a little bit. I felt like we were pressing Spurs a lot better in the early stages of the second half. And I felt like if anyone was going to score, it'd be Everton. We were all over them. And then a very, very stupid incident. Oh, my God. Doucouré, it's literally right in front of us. It couldn't have been closer. Harry Kane is a master at the snide part of football, and that's why he's so good, as well as being a top player. He gets that part of the game right. And Doucouré loses his head again. It's just stupid. Puts his hand in the face of Harry Kane, who wants that. He's baiting Doucouré. I don't know what was said, but it's right in front of the fourth official, right in front of the touchline. You're thinking this is just classic Everton. Capitulating from a position of strength. No need to do it completely. It was idiotic. And yet we've had some brawls in recent weeks. But this wasn't a brawl. This was an isolated incident. And the referee, in fairness, he had no choice but to send him off from what we could see. And I did see the picture back. But I did say at half time to Mabsy, who was giving David Coote some abuse, that it will bite us on the arse. And it really did with the sending off. But it was the right decision, reluctantly. And then I think from then on, Everton, you could see that we weren't just going to sit back, I don't think, and go for a point, go for a draw at this point. I felt like Everton still wanted to go for the win. I felt like Everton was still the better team, but it was Tottenham with it looked dubious. It looked like maybe, obviously from where we were sat, that he was caught late, perhaps didn't see him. Can anyone describe that? Was it a foot put out by Michael Keane by any chance? Anyway, you just know that this is a capitulation, getting a man sent off. As Trevor says, 3-match ban. It is a disgrace. Mr. Toffees, you can't raise your hand. And after the match, Decore leaving, shouts over to Seamus Coleman and says something like, "See you later, Shay," or Coleman's like, "Bye, Dukes." It was all proper pally, and Decore had a massive grin on his face. I'm thinking, on another day, you could have cost us there because you just couldn't keep your head. You know not to raise your hand. So absolutely outrageous what he did. But we ended up then making another mistake with the penalty. I've not seen it back, as Domino Chris has said, and I'm sure he went over in his post-match reaction. Definitely was a penalty, so I'll take his word for it. It did look like a pen. And pretty gutted, really. At this point, I'm thinking, oh my God, we were so close. We were very much in the game in the first half. It was very evens. I felt like Everton would turn it on. We did start turning it on. We were the better team at that point, and we go and make 2 very bad errors. And Harry Kane, despite the best efforts of perhaps those around him and in the ground, slots it home. Did it go through the middle by any chance? Because before my match, someone asked me what it would be, and I said, Kane, slot a pen through the middle. Don't think he did, actually. I think he hit it bottom left, sent Pickford the wrong way. We're giving away too many penalties. Too many penalties. We did it at Spurs. We did it at Tottenham earlier this season, which allowed them to open the deadlock like today. We did it at Chelsea. Keep your heads. It's very bad challenges, because other than that, we were defensively very in control. Tottenham created very little at this point. And thanks, Dom. He says it went to bottom left, Pickford's right. So the penalty, and you think Everton, our old Everton under Lampard, absolutely capitulate there. But Everton wanted to get into the game, and I thought Alex Iwobi in midfield in particular was very, very good with his footwork and his positioning and his creativity. Onana showed up today. He signed my shirt before the match. Really nice guy. He said it was a pleasure to do so. I think he's a gent. And so did Alex Iwobi and Damari Gray, by the way. Not my program, but some of the other people in the box with us signed it for us. Mabsy and some of the others, Amy. But I thought with the midfield did really well. Garner stepped it up there. Decore, who was fine, he was good up until the point. He's very important in this system. He's the defensive number 10, if you like. He helps lead the press. He supports the striker. He's going to be a massive loss, but I think the midfield stepped it up there with 10 men, and we huffed and puffed. And I felt like we were looking for that goal. We were searching for that goal, but probably just the lack of maybe having that extra player, which you really need. Bear with me 1 second. I'm actually going to go and get my program. So if you just bear with me 1 sec, because I want to show guys. Sorry, I'm back. So the penalty in, and the midfield of Everton didn't suffer. I felt like actually being a goal down and giving away the penalty and the adversity kind of, it lifted us. It lifted the crowd. I think We were fired up for it. It wasn't the best atmosphere today. Obviously, where we were sat in the middle of the stadium near the touchline is amazing. Hang on. It wasn't the best atmosphere, but it was amazing because of where we were sat. I felt like, sorry, I'm a little bit out of breath. Just from running up and down the stairs. The midfield level stepped up definitely, despite the 10 men. The crowd were lifted by the adversity and the decisions that were going against us, and we still had control of the game. I never felt like it was slipping away from us. I never felt like it was Tottenham's to go on and get the second. I actually felt like if anyone was going to score, it'd be Everton. Through the good work of the midfield, we were pressing really high. We even with the 10 men, we were really into Tottenham's faces, trying to win the ball back and winning the midfield battle, moving it well. And you're thinking, are we going to have enough with having the extra man for Tottenham? Are we going to have enough? Are we going to get caught up? But we completely suffocated them. We pressed them. We didn't let Tottenham out. I felt like the goal was coming. And then 88 minutes, was it? Michael Keane, at this point, has gone forward. I think we were well in control of the game, despite losing. You're thinking this is an injustice. This is classic Everton not getting the result that we deserve. Yandalf, who's at the game with me, is saying in front, it's going to be 6 minutes of added time. Don't worry. And then Lucas Moura gets sent off. I think he catches Michael Keane very, very late, absolutely reckless. He come on as a substitute and was off straight away. And you're thinking, this is it. Everton can get something back here. Tottenham are not that good. And if at 11 v 11, if I'm honest with you, we would have won the game anyway. But there you go. There was evens, 10 apiece, and Everton searching for the goal. And up steps Michael Keane. And the stadium is in shock. I mean, it's almost like, it reminded me of, can't really remember, but the type of goal where you're just not expecting it and you're not anticipating it. You don't expect him to shoot maybe, or you think that player stopped and he's kicking it back to the keeper, but no, he's hit it absolutely perfectly. And I don't know whether it was the shock, perhaps because where we were sat, it's all the corporate boxes and a lot of them are in the box. Maybe I didn't really feel like the atmosphere was quite there around there. Maybe everyone wasn't anticipating it as well where we were, because we were far away from the shot and it was Michael Keane taking it. But he just hits it absolutely perfectly and it swerves away from the keeper. And although it's on Lloris's side, he's never getting it. It's just a fantastic finish. I don't know if you saw on Twitter the reaction, the celebrations of us, but at that stage, it was a relief of the justice for perhaps the performance, which I've seen us play a lot worse and win. I really have. I've seen us play worse and win. And I felt that we definitely deserved at least a point in that game. I thought Tottenham were terrible, didn't turn up at all, and Everton, could have gone on in those, in those last few minutes and really got the winner. I mean, Tottenham then really tried to get the goal of themselves, but Everton pressed so well. Michaelenko, Davis, and James Garner, who came on as substitutes. There was another one as well, Ellis Sims. They pressed, they really put the pressure under Tottenham, didn't let them play out, didn't let them play through us. When it did get through the midfield press, it would be Michael Keane and James Tarkowski there, ready to sweep up and in control of every situation. I thought James Tarkowski was outstanding. Michaelenko came on a little bit suspect with some of his crossing and his technical play. Sean Dyche seemed to be getting quite agitated by some of it. But I felt like we were definitely the better team in those closing stages. And on another day, I think if the game had gone another 10 minutes, Everton would have been the one who would have got the winner, because the momentum was really with us despite Tottenham. They did have a late corner and they did try, but I felt like it was Everton to go on and win that game. And you take the point because you've come from a position of adversity with the penalty and the red card. But on another day, I think we could have done more. I want to see the highlights back and want to see whether perhaps I'm totally wrong and it's just because I've been in the game and I was very close to the action. Is my view different to how you've seen it? Let me know in the comments. Is it a fair assessment, or am I completely wrong? Were Tottenham the better team throughout? Did they throw it away? And Everton just picked it up through a lucky goal from Michael Keane. So The experience was in the box with Ian, who's Yandalf, Stevie from the channel, Basil from the channel, my two brothers, Jeff from the channel, Amy from the channel, and my sister, my girlfriend, and Ian's mum, Patricia. So we were in there, the 10 of us. It was a fantastic experience. Hospitality was really lovely from the staff there. I think if you're going the match to scream and shout and be really active, you probably want to be more in the stands, because I do think you have to try and be a little bit best behaviour because you are with corporates. I mean, the box next to us was Tottenham fans, for example, and there were Everton fans on the right, but there wasn't that kind of lively sort of. I felt it was going to be a very night-timey atmosphere, but it didn't really feel that way. It felt like you have to be quite well behaved, but nevertheless, most of us tried our best to be well behaved, and it was a fantastic experience. You got a meal, drinks, a free bar. It was courtesy of our friends at the spot, one of our sponsors. Not sure whether I can say too much, but I'm sure it's been quite obvious because it's been on social media. But we're really grateful to Stake for allowing us to use their box. It was fantastic, and I do hope I will get invited back maybe next season. But really, really good experience. The food was nice. The atmosphere was nice. To be with the Follow Everton gang as well, and to enjoy the experience. To be so close to the touchline was absolutely mad. Yeah, Neil Michaels, Mabsy probably was not on his best behaviour. Screaming at the David Coote as he's coming in at half time, rid his face and getting quite pissed. And when we met Sean Dyche, I'll come to that. So we got, before the match, some of the players did come over. Most of them will acknowledge you but won't come over to sign autographs. But Alex Iwobi did come over. Damari Gray did come over. They both signed. They didn't sign my programme, and I didn't see it till very late, but I've already got Alex Iwobi's autograph on a different shirt of mine. And they just seemed like really nice lads. After the match, Seamus Coleman came over and signed. You can see I've met Seamus in Nando's, and I've also got his signature at Brentford as well. And I've got another signed shirt he's done. He's a gentleman, and you can tell he's just happy to be an Everton player and for what he's achieved and to have the career he's had. He signed over, and I spoke to him and I said to him, we deserve more. And I think he said, especially with 11 men, he felt like we were the better team, or until the sending off or something. So, yeah, but he knew it was a great point in the end, and he was made up with it. I think it keeps the momentum going, keeps the unbeaten run going. Here it is. It's my ticket. Pitch side executive box. I'm never going to be in there again, let's be honest. Once in a lifetime. Then we waited behind after the full-time whistle, and before the match, Onana signed the programme. As I said before, he was a gent. He signed all of our programmes. Coleman at the full-time whistle, and then we saw Sean Dyche doing his media duty. So it was just me, Mabsy, and Basil. And I said to Mabsy, because it was just the three of us left, and it was like an hour after the game, I said, Mabsy, let me do the talking. Let me speak. And I'm thinking I'm going to ask Sean to do a little subscribe to Follow Everton video, but he's got stadium security with him. And by the time he comes over, Mabsy, the first thing he says is, me bird likes Blackburn or something like that. And I thought, oh, fucking hell, this is the first time, only time you're going to meet the Everton manager, and you're talking about Blackburn, who he hates because he was Burnley manager. Anyway, I said that it was a great point. He's got the players motivated. He's doing really well. He seemed to be, he's more than happy to sign it. He was happy. And there's the proof. Sean Dyche signed it. Nice guy. I would have liked to have had a little mini chat with him without Mabsy chipping in talking about irrelevant shite, but I think everyone was quite overwhelmed, the three of us at this point, just to have met Sean Dyche, and the fact that he was willing to do that and do what I think an Everton manager should do, which is, have a relationship with the fans. It would have been completely wrong to ignore. One player that did ignore was DCL with his girlfriend. Shouted Dom. I feel like with Calvert-Lewin, he probably doesn't want to engage because he's going to get asked awkward questions. So that's fair enough. I respect that, and I don't take it personally. And then at the end, just before, had to get Michael Keane. He was doing his pitch side duties for EvertonFC.com. I thought, I'm going to get Michael Keane. He was on his way down the tunnel, and I shouted, Michael, please sign. He comes over. He's got a grin on his face. I said, it's not every day you score a screamer like that. So I've got to get your autograph. And he started smiling. He respected that. And the man on the front, Domino, Chris said he was going to score, and he did. And just a really nice chat with him. He said he couldn't believe he scored, and I said, I've been pining for you to play up front anyway because I've seen you finishing in training. It's unbelievable. Which is the truth. He's a fantastic finisher, and that strike, he's never going to score a goal like that again. But I did hear that he gave away the penalty, so it's kind of a bit. I didn't know at the time, but it's one of those. Anyway, good experience. And I'll be back in the Park End for the next match. We have to say that I really enjoyed meeting some of those players, some of the players there, getting close to them, getting some autographs, sitting close to the pitch, sitting right in front of the view of Sean Dyche was pretty amazing, right behind him, quite literally level with him. You can actually see, just see whether I can get the, just want to see here if I've got the screenshot. So you can see there, just above the sea, that's me leaning over, and you've got the rest of us in there in that box, just as the players coming out. That's amazing. A couple of selfies. That's how close to the pitch side. And my favourite picture here is this, to be fair. During the match, I'm going to do something mad with that, I think. Look at that. That's amazing. It doesn't do it justice on here, unfortunately. Whether I can. That's a little bit special. So we're going to try and use that as some backdrop, perhaps. Also quite funny when they were all in the box. Could probably get that and use that as maybe for the green screen so that I can pretend I'm back in the box. Here's Jeff. Good old Jeff. I think you might have seen him on our post-match. Steve? And that's all. So pretty special experience to have been in there as a one-off. Thank you so much, Stake, for supporting the channel and letting us go in there. Yes, we were a little bit rowdy. Some of us, I was sober as a judge, but a couple of them were quite loud, quite rowdy. It's a football match. What do you expect? You have to, show the passion. I don't know whether in all the boxes are all Evertonians. As I said, the one in the Hummels box was with Tottenham fans, so can't be sure. And if you stick in diehard blues, passionate blues like us in there, we're going to be loud. But that's it. Has anyone got any other questions? Anyone want to talk about anything else before we wrap things up? Yes, that's an iron in the background. I need to move it. We'll get a better backdrop. Set up the green screen and use that as my backdrop. But really happy with the point. I felt like we deserved it. Amazing strike. What a match. Bit bonkers. Crazy experience. And keeps things going. Keeps things ticking. And if you haven't seen it, make sure you watch Chris. His match reaction, which was recorded before live, straight after the game. I'm going to go and watch the highlights, go and watch the interviews. Trev saying, can we stay up? I think the momentum's with us, but I think we're playing very big catch-up and we can't make silly mistakes, Trev, like we did today, giving away a penalty and getting a red card. That's what relegated and relegation style teams do. They make a lot of stupid errors, and we've got to not do that. And we got goals in us now. I think with the system, with the way we press, the way we win the ball back high, the way we trap teams in, and the way we try and dominate the midfield and flood the box. And we didn't flood the box so well in the first half, but certainly in the second half when we wanted to score. So the momentum's with us. It's going to be difficult, Trev. I'd say we're still outsiders because we've got, we've got 1 point and you'd rather have the points on the board and we're out, but you're relying on teams to lose, I think. We need some teams to do bad, and I think the only team that will get relegated for certain is Southampton, and I think it's possibly Leeds or Forest as well. Very, very difficult. Hi, Alfie. Thanks for watching. You might want to watch this back. Mark saying Old Trafford will be tough. Yeah, we'll be doing our preview later in the week. Old Trafford, again, I take a point, and I think if you'd have offered me 3 points from these 3 games or 3 draws, I think it would be a good result. I think it's going to be difficult. I want to know what we're going to do about Decore, how we're going to replace him. It could be a complete change of system, maybe go 4-4-2 and put Ellis Sims in, take the game to United, or do we play it safe and perhaps go with James Garner or Tom Davis in there? Or there is another option, Ellis Sims up top as a number 9, Damari Gray on the wing, and Alex Iwobi coming in as sort of the number 10/number 8. So a couple of options you could do there. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. And thank you for watching. Much appreciated. That's my match reaction. See you soon.